It's actually make me have TSU on
Say what?
because this is a TSU. TSU right here.
No bet. Nice.
So kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we're gonna do it out here.
Okay.
I want us to either sit up there or we can sit right
That's your
here.
house too?
Yeah, this is my granddad's house. They both my granddad's house.
A word.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I know y'all old Nashville because East Nashville ain't nobody got.
Oh, I actually like that. That's not bad at all, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I'm not disappointed with that. All right, what's up? All right.
It's good.
All right. So did I sent you an article? Did you,
I saw it when I was driving. I didn't get to read.
you didn't get it? Okay, so I just wrote a little article about the parade this morning.
Okay.
But that isn't necessarily what I want to talk about.
Okay.
I gotta think. I'm gonna get into it.
Okay. So loose.
All right. All righty. Right here. Alrighty. All right, what's up, y'all? This is SK from SK Media, and today we are joined with Cameron Keith Walls. All right, and let me just give you a little brief introduction of who this man is that we have here talking with us today. So, all right, I wrote a good little intro.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. So first off, welcome everyone to this 1 hour, maybe more long conversation. Right here in East Nashville. This is the 98th annual Tennessee State homecoming. Yeah. How you feel about that?
Man, it's a blessing to be a part of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
TSU is a pillar in our community. So to be an alumnus of the institution as well as to actually have been employed by the institution it's an honor to be a part of a long legacy like that.
For sure. Absolutely. All right. So I want to tell y'all who we have in front of us this morning or this afternoon is we have with us Mr. Cameron Keith Walls. And he is a TSU alumni. He is an educator, a performer, a filmmaker. He's basically a Nashville staple. Okay? So I just want to thank you for doing this.
Appreciate it.
All right. Yes. All right. So first off, let me tell you a little bit about this man. He is a graduate of TSU himself. He graduated magna cum laude in mass communications back in 2015. He is now serving as a student affairs liaison. Basically offering and helping the students out with campus,
Well, actually,
with
I'm a
housing.
resident director now.
Oh, resident director
Yeah.
now. Excuse me. You done upgraded. All right. All right. He has a career that has spanned film, television, music, education. So we're gonna get into it today. All right. So Nashville has been like your home base for your whole life.
No. So actually, I'm a native of Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
I moved to Nashville, Tennessee by way of Phoenix, Arizona in 2008.
Okay.
So I've been here almost 20 years.
Okay. So that basically means like you home. This is home for you.
Oh,
now.
man, absolutely. I tell everybody, Peoria made me, Phoenix raised me, but Nashville proved me.
For sure. Said
So,
Nashville.
yeah, Nashville proved me.
All right. So tell me, like, are you excited about this homecoming season? Like, what's up?
But so I got mixed feelings. So I've been here a while. You know, I
Mhm.
work at the institution,
Yes.
and so I'm not as excited as I have been in past years,
Okay.
only because I'm there every day.
Oh, okay.
So for
That makes
me, it's
sense.
like everybody else coming home. I'm still there. So so I'm not as excited for that purpose, but I'm also excited because what I do love is I love our new president right now, President Dwayne Johnson.
Okay.
He's doing a phenomenal job with the institution right now.
Okay.
I love that TSU has accomplished quite a bit of things, and so this year I think was this is the first year of homecoming under a new administration, and so the last administration said homecoming out for years.
Mhm.
And so it's just excited to see what a new administration has been able to do with bringing flavor to homecoming, bringing the spirit of homecoming to Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
It's just it's an honor to be able to see another administration carrying the torch further.
Okay. But because we all know that TSU and the state and the city of Nashville has had a very interesting and contentious relationship with one
Well,
another.
TSU and the city of Nashville has had a great relationship. TSU and the state of Tennessee is a different story.
The state of Tennessee, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
but
that got some funding issues as well.
well, you know, again, those are historical situations,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of layers to that. It's a lot of nuances to that.
absolutely.
But the city of Nashville has always loved our institution. TSU has been a staple in the city of Nashville. TSU has been very integral
Right.
in the city of Nashville's flavoring.
Yeah.
And so
So the flavor of
the
Nashville.
flavor of
Yes.
Nashville, you know, it's called Music City thanks to the Fifth Jubilee singers.
Yeah.
However, a lot of the influences that have gone into even how music is done and the different approaches to it, a lot of that came from Tennessee State down the street.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So how did you end up as a student in Tennessee?
Okay. So in
Why
two,
you picked that over other HBCUs?
all right. So actually, so my journey of education has been quite interesting.
Okay.
I started school in '99 when I first got out of high school in
Yes.
Illinois.
Yeah.
My grandmother passed that same year. I left school.
Yep.
Ended up going 6 years before I could go back to school due to financial reasonings.
Yeah.
Moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Started going to College, where I went to a school. That's how I got into the arts.
Okay.
Well, let me rephrase that. That's how I got into media.
Okay.
Started a program there, but because I had to get a job took me away from school. Ended up having to leave school.
Mhm.
Couldn't go back to school because of financial reasons. Then I moved here in '08. Well, from '08 to 2012, I was just working, trying to make life work.
Right.
I had a situation where I lost a job. I was working for Kroger. And inside, I was working at the gas station. My manager and I got along quite greatly. But the inside manager, however, had a complication with me.
Mhm.
And I was terminated by a manager that wasn't even my direct supervisor.
That's crazy.
And I know, right? So I walked out of there that day. I said, no one will ever do this to me again. And so I decided that day I'm going back to school. So I was considering initially going to MTSU because their music business program is really great. And but I didn't have a car. And so it was like I wasn't about to get on the bus and ride 2 hours every day.
Right.
And I was like, well, TSU down the street. Worst case scenario is I can walk.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I enrolled in Tennessee State University because they did have a music business program. And it's like it just made more sense to be in the neighborhood. If life's on me, I can still get there. Best decision I ever made in my life. I had no idea that I would enjoy being a part of that community and that culture so much. I had no idea the relationships that I would gain. I had no idea how impactful of being a part of the fabric of that legacy would be on my life,
Thanks.
especially when I was 31 going back to school. And I told myself that I was going to ensure myself an undergraduate experience. And so by making myself dive in and actually participate with an undergraduate experience, um, yeah, I did school just like everybody else, even though I was old,
It just gives you
even though I was old.
yeah, see, but sometimes the seasoned students are like some of the best resources in the classroom.
Yeah.
You know, you probably have a good resource for your classmates.
Well, I would that as well, but see, I also I became wise enough to know like they had so much to teach me
Hmm.
because I was a part of a different generation, but those students knew how to do that society very differently than I knew how to.
Okay.
So I was teachable,
Yep.
and you know because I was teachable and I had life experience on my side, I was able to excel. That's how I got to the GPA.
Yeah.
I didn't have those kind of grades when I was in college the first time.
Right. Okay.
But coming back, oh man, shit. I was able to like lock in differently. I was able to manage my time differently. I was able to maneuver relationships differently,
Okay.
which yielded me not only being able to excel as a student, but it put me in a position where I made great relationships with my professors. Those relationships led to me being able to go to graduate school. When I got out of graduate school, they led to me coming back and teaching at the institution. I left for a period of time when I did some other work, but that also led back to me coming back to the institution and maneuvering from just being an adjunct professor on the academic affairs side to moving into student affairs and working as a liaison to moving into housing, which is still under the banner of student affairs,
Right.
where I've been a resident director for the last 3 years.
Nice. Congrats.
So
Sounds that man, you got a good journey, man.
yeah, it's
It's
been a
been a
journey.
story.
It's been a journey.
I have a question. Like speaking like about your artistry, like you mentioned that this morning you were singing at Riverside
Yeah,
Seventh Day Adventist Church this morning,
that's correct.
and how does your faith center into like the broader concept of like your artistry and your performance? Like,
Okay.
what does your faith mean to you?
Well, for starters, I'll tell anybody this. One thing that I say all the time: God and music are the only two things in life that have not changed or been disconnected from me ever.
Mhm.
Everything else in life is conditional and circumstantial. Family, they can only be present when they can be there. Lives, and then people pass on, they go on into the next phase of their existence.
Absolutely.
But music and God have always been here. They have always been my constant. I don't have to wonder where they are when I wake up in the morning. Um, Music and God have been the roadmap that has led me through every experience I've ever had in life.
Yeah.
All of my friends do music. I mean, I have some of the most incredibly talented friends you'll ever meet in the world. Matter of fact, some of them are notable. Some of them have really, really high accomplishments, and y'all know they stuff.
Nice.
But I've been blessed to be actual friends with these people
Right.
because of my journey of music and because of my relationship with God. I don't have friends that don't believe like I do. I don't have people that don't understand how God how God works in life. And that has afforded me, like, again, my resume is pretty impressive when you're reading it. Oh, that's God. Everything that I've ever been aligned with, every opportunity that's ever found me, every door that I've ever been fortunate to walk through, God put them there, and He directed my steps to lead me there. And so, yeah,
That's beautiful. I want to dive deeper into that. So in this conversation about what it means to be excellent and black, you know, oftentimes adversity is a big part of that. You know, you say they can't have a diamond unless it was like has some pressure,
heat and pressure,
put onto it.
absolutely.
And that's in that stuff is where the gem really comes out. And and I want to like step back to like your years at TSU in 2012, like
Okay.
you know, like like what like when you pause and you think about like your life at that time, like what was the thing that in that time it was like, okay, like I know this is God, even though this is a hard scenario that I'm going through right now.
Okay, that's actually quite easy.
Yeah,
So as I told you, the situation with me losing the job that led
yeah,
me.
yeah.
So I wasn't able to go back to school initially because I owed financial aid. I owed
Of
Sally
course,
Mae some money. You
HBCU
know what I'm saying?
struggles. If you went
Well,
to
no, no,
HBCU,
no.
you
This is
know.
pre HBCU. My first schools weren't HBCU.
Hmm.
So I owed money because after you're out of school so long, you have
Yeah,
to start paying your student loans back.
yeah.
So the institution that I went to, Collins College, they actually ended up closing. But that school, I owed them an outstanding balance. So until I paid that balance, I couldn't get my transcripts.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to transfer. So when I enrolled in Tennessee State, I anticipated coming back as a beginning freshman, starting from ground zero, no credits transferring.
Mhm.
Um, that year, so I lost my job in November. My mother told me that there was a program where you can consolidate your student loans so that you can get a fresh payment, I guess.
Yeah.
So I applied to consolidate my loans.
Mhm.
So in the month of December, I submitted like at the end of November. Month of December, I get a letter back towards the end of December saying that they accepted my consolidation and that it'll be consolidated. Well, because they consolidated my loans, I was no longer getting my tax returns garnished.
Okay.
So they sent me a refund check. I hadn't got a refund check in years at that point. So the refund check permitted for me to go and pay college off so that I can get that money taken away and they can send me my transcripts. And so I applied to TSU. TSU accepted me. I was able to give them my transcripts. So I walked into TSU as a incoming well as a second semester sophomore.
Okay.
So all of the transcripts from Collins and all the transcripts from my community college in my hometown all transferred with me.
Nice.
So I walked in being further ahead than I anticipated being. So that was the first thing I knew was God. Secondly, I didn't have a vehicle for a long time living here in Nashville. Um, Back then, the way they did financial aid was you used to get your refund check at the beginning of the school year so you can go purchase the things you need for school. Okay. I got my refund check. I went and bought a car. So I went and got me a little car, something that can get me around, and I was able to be mobile. Well, that put me in a position to also be able to do like the other stuff. Like I started doing extra work on like the show Nashville and different things like that as a side hustle while I was in school.
Mhm.
And so just all of that alignment. I met a friend in a library. I was randomly in a library, and he just walked up to me and was like, "Hey, I, do we know each other?" I was like, "No," and we locked in from there. Got really close. He was like, "Hey, Prime Alpha is having information. You should come." And I was like, "What is that?" Turns out it was a music organization, music fraternity. And so I went with him to the informational. I was interested. He was so excited about it that he inspired me to go ahead and come out with him. So he and I both went out for the organization. I got accepted. He did not.
Okay.
I got online that following spring.
Yeah.
I was blessed to gain 17 of the greatest men as my line brothers.
Okay.
Two of them I knew prior to getting online, but the rest of them I didn't know from campaign.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine living without those men.
Yeah.
Additionally, my chapter at the time, there were some people in the chapter that I didn't know at all, but then there were some people that I had met over the years. Then I found out that some of the older guys that I had been singing with in the community, because I was singing professionally already, were the guys that was also a member of this fraternity. And so it's like this world that was disconnected all of a sudden in one fell swoop became solid and
Yeah.
congealed.
That's it.
Joe Bosley, my brother from Fisk. So like a lot of those relationships were birthed because of me coming back and just stepping out there in my first semester of being in school.
Mhm.
And then it led to this pathway of me being a man of music. Well, I've been a man of music, but I'm a man of music in a brotherhood for music.
Okay.
And those relationships have led to countless things. We did a record at Tennessee State University. It didn't get to get released, but it was one that myself and my brother Daniel Myrie
Yeah.
put together, which was all students. We wrote all the songs. Daniel did all the production, and that from that record, it was the first time most of them ever stepped foot in the studio. Many of them are now currently artists and continuously working in the industry.
Nice.
That record, I would consider that record a precursor to even the one that Tennessee State University did for the marching band, because on that record there were several people who ended up becoming band staff. Well, my line brother Derek Green, Pop Green, he got his first taste of being in the studio and what production looked like from doing the record we did in 2013, 2014. And so literally we planted seeds that we saw harvest in other places.
That's cool.
Spirit and Truth Believers Fellowship, the church that Daniel Myrie is the pastor of, that he founded. Myself, I was one of the founding members, along with many of our brothers and sisters from SAI and PMA. And so it's just like the congealing and the relationships that we formed and the bonds birthed a lot of things that led to adding to legacy.
Okay. I legacy. That's a good word.
Yeah.
It seems like you wear a lot of hats, man.
Oh man.
Like you're like an adjunct
I
professor.
wear too many hats.
You're advising TSU, students.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the gospel music industry.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to know, like, how has all of this community involvement? What is this? What has this taught you lessons about the meaning of community?
First of all, I would say this: the biggest blessing that I had is I was raised by my mother's mother, my grandmother Florence Lilly. She was a community activist in my city. Florence literally not only took people in, she had 12 children of her own. Let's start there. She raised all 12 of her kids, assisted in raising many of her grandchildren.
Facts.
And then went on to help raise our community. She started libraries in our public housing system. Like literally, because of her, there was a library in each of the public housings to help with literacy. And so, like, that's the fabric of exposure I had as a child. So, community has always been important to me. I've never not had it. And so every city that God has blessed me to go to, He's given me people that were like family in every city. Of course, at home, it was my biological, which is most of the city, because I'm most sides of my family are huge. But then there was additional people, like I was in a group called Crusaders for Christ. That's my family. It will always be my family. Then there was another group that came under us called Integrity Gospel Singers. We were like their big brothers and sisters. So they still like an extension. I used to go to Chicago. There were people from Ricky Dillard and New Generation Chorale that were like family to me. They kept us. Sweet Holy Spirit, Dexter Walker and Zion Movement. Like there were people that were in their early phases of their careers that were like family in that space. Moved to Phoenix, Arizona. My boy Ronnie and Pilgrim Rest and like GMWA there, like family there. So when I got to Nashville, that spirit of community continued. It started off with Mount Zion when I first got here in GMWA and some of the gospel singers in the Nashville community. But as I got to Tennessee State, I found that there was an evolution of community where some of those old relationships deepened because many of those people were Tennessee State related.
Yeah.
But then there was a new birthing of community as a result of TSU. And then also, what people don't tell you about HBCUs, which I think is different than any other PWI, and this is just no shade to them.
No shade to the PWI.
But when you become
shade.
but when you become a member of the HBCU community, you become a part of the greater whole of the HBCU community. So I might be a Tennessee State University alumnus, but Fisk is like our sister down the street. I used to always say that TSU is like Aunt Vi and Fisk is like Aunt Vid.
They're the same person, but
You
they're
know what I'm
not.
saying?
Yeah,
They sisters.
Yeah.
One's a
Yeah.
little more pulled up,
Yeah.
and the other one's a little more hood,
Yeah.
but they sisters. And you realize real quickly that like as a community, yo, we still the same people.
Yeah.
Mahari, ABC, the relationships of the intertwining between those institutions there's so much richness there that's very seldomly spoken of. That's before you start talking about the relationship that TSU has with A&M down the street. Or like in my fraternity, I'm my chapter, Ada's our chapter, Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia Music Fraternity. Um, our chapter is one of the first 4 Black chapters in the whole organization because my organization is not predominantly Black. So there are four institutions. First one being Howard. Howard always has the first everything, so that's why they call it the Mecca. For those who don't know, Howard. We had Lincoln University. The third one was Zeta Rho at Fisk. Then the fourth one was Tennessee State University. So that first 4 Black chapter thing causes us to have a different kind of rapport with brothers at Howard and a different kind of rapport with brothers at Fisk. Down at Southern University, which is our musical rival for the aristocratic bands. There are musical rivals, but let's be clear: the love between Southern and Tennessee State University,
is strong,
unrivaled.
Let's go.
So we talk our mess to each other. Let's be clear. But the love is real. And so the brothers at Musai and Ada's Eye, it's like this. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to know you, but if they find out that you're from our chapter, So people don't talk about how the connection of being HBCU alum and students and alum, let me say that, becomes a wider web of relationship. And so when you talk about community, TSU is home base, but HBCU community, once you become an alumnus of an HBCU, we all family.
Absolutely. Hey, from public housing to like Grammy winning collaborations and the launch of the Lily Walls firm in 2020. Amid the pandemic, how do these milestones reflect breaking stereotypes and embodying Black excellence in our community?
So the first thing I need everybody to know Every degree I got to this day, except the one I'm working on, happened from me living in public housing. I literally was a recipient of a scholarship that MDHA offered that was scarcely even applied for because people just didn't know it existed.
Mhm.
I went in there, was paying rent, and read the wall and seen there was a high school version of scholarship. So I reached out to the people and asked them, I know this is for people that's graduating high school.
Yeah.
How does this apply to people that's in college? And they was like, well, you can apply.
Yeah.
I applied, I got it.
For sure.
I
For sure.
and I got it every year.
Okay.
I graduated in 2015. And so when I graduated in 2015, I ended up enrolling in my master's program at Lipscomb in 2016.
Mhm.
So when I enrolled, I reached back out and I said, hey, so I know that I'm not an undergrad anymore. Can I still apply for this scholarship while I'm in my master's program? They said, absolutely. So for the remainder of my time until I graduated in 2017, I was on that same scholarship. That scholarship, it helped me be able to offset life.
Mhm.
And as a result of that, MDHA had me to come speak at one of their conferences. I don't even think it was just MDHA. I think it was a conference that was for a bunch of different housing agencies. But they had me to come speak because I was the only person who was a consistent recipient of that scholarship. And I was able to give my testimony about my grandmother who raised her children in public housing, who was the president of the tenant council, who was on the board for countless things. She was very involved with the mayor's initiatives. My auntie was on the board for our PHA, Peoria Housing Authority.
Mhm.
My mother became a manager in Peoria Housing Authority.
Okay.
She ended up having a professional career managing public housing.
Mhm.
And so she moved to Arizona, then she moved to Rockford, into Arizona, then to here,
Mhm.
where she was one of the managers for MDHA.
Mhm.
And so like public housing not only provided an opportunity for my family to have stability, but like I literally got my degrees while in public housing.
Nice.
So the idea that, public housing is where, people who have nothing go. No, it's a place where people who have little can build and gain more.
Nice. Thank you. That's the end of part one. We're gonna come back part two in a second. Alrighty. What's up, man?
Hey,
All right, so we're gonna switch gears for a little bit.
okay.
All right. All right. These bugs, oh my god, I hate them. Um, all right. So let's get into the craft. Okay.
All right.
All right. All right. This is why we're both here. Filmmaking is my thing. Storytelling,
Absolutely.
filmmaking. That's my thing. So we are both, used to digital and visual media to amplify Black people's voices and our
Hmm.
narratives. But what is your process of bringing authentic storytelling to the forefront, and tell me a little bit about how you got your roles, like in the Elvis film and just in Nashville.
Okay. Well, so for starters, man, the idea of the arts, like one of the things I think that's underappreciated about the arts is the fact that nothing is manifested in the world without an art. Everything that comes out of your idea and in your imagination, everything as it comes through the ether to you can only come out of you through an art form.
Okay.
And because we only look at the arts socially, we only look at the arts as being entertainment value, we disregard the fact that the main point of art is for communication.
Okay.
So everything is a story. I don't
Yeah.
care what it is. The color of the paint that you use,
Yes.
the style of writing that you
Yeah.
choose, the choice of genre. It all is with the intention to frame a story. There's no other reason. Even with the houses we live in. Yes, the house is for shelter, but the aesthetic of the house is telling a story. The style of the house is telling a story. It's all a form of art
Mhm.
that's utilized to communicate anything. And so for me, I'm a bridge builder. That's my primary gifting. And my superpower, I always tell people that if I was an X-Man, my true superpower is my brain. I'm a think tank. Okay. The ability to connect dots and to tell the story and to help convey a story is where I am incredibly gifted. That's why I've been graced with the ability to be an educator because I have a way of communicating information. Um, as a singer, I've been blessed with a voice to sing. Um, but understand that the voice to sing is just an instrument. The voice is what do you have to say? And the fact that I actually understand what I have to say, I'm allowed that to be a through line to how I can communicate to the world around me. And so whether I'm acting, whether I'm writing, whether I'm actually singing, whether I'm teaching, which is the greatest, oldest tradition, the oral tradition, that the through line is understanding the story and connecting the dots. And so for me, it's really important and imperative that we help artists understand that making sound is not art in and of itself. Making stories using sound. Now we're talking.
Yeah, making stories using.
Or making stories using visuals.
And
No-
you and like in your production roles, like from like QuaverCon to the Dunlap Music Group, uh
Delaney Land.
Delaney Land, my bad.
Yes.
Excuse me. Delaney Land Music Group. Like how do you blend music and visuals together? Like,
Okay, so QuaverCon, so Quaver is a company that uses music to create educational content.
okay.
My
Did you
role,
create that or is that just a thing that you're a part of?
it was a company that I was hired into.
Okay.
My role was actually the events production, was it events production manager.
Right.
So we were like the events team where we would sometimes do events. We would sometimes handle the travel and booking, but then we would go to the conventions. We would actually set up the booths and man the stations and kind of help the salespeople. Um, in that role, it was important for us to be able to give the narrative of what is Quaver, how is Quaver utilized, and why do you need it. But in addition to that, as time went on, we had the pandemic come.
Yep.
When the pandemic came, I became the planner for Quaver, the first QuaverCon, because they've done it since then.
But that's when you started the Lily.
I started the Lily Walls firm immediately after that.
Okay.
QuaverCon. So the way it happened was because how we made our money was we went to conventions, we would set up the booth, and then the salespeople would engage with the educators that came, and that's how they did it. Well, pandemic ended our opportunity to do that. So my boss's boss was like, "We should figure out how to start our own, um, do our own convention."
Right.
Cameron, you should get on top of that. And so
Okay.
so I literally had to conceptualize how to do that. I had never done a virtual conference at all at that point. Actually, I had never planned a conference at that point. So I had to use my imagination to conceptualize what could something like this even remotely look like.
Yeah.
It was early. We weren't using virtual like that at that point. So
Yeah.
that's the beginning of the curve.
Yep.
I reached out to the educators, the people who go out and do the trainings, because I understood that if we did something like this, they would have to do sessions. So I asked them, I said, "Hey, so what in your perfect world, what would an ideal convention look like?" And so I got their feedback. I took their feedback, and one of them ended up becoming a partner of mine in that endeavor. Tony, can't remember Tony's last name, but Tony ended up becoming a partner with me. So I basically conceptualized the overall thing. Tony basically took the lead on galvanizing the educational sessions. And so she and I created QuaverCon. My supervisor, Rachel, can't remember Rachel's last name either. Velasi, Rachel Velasi, was very instrumental in helping us pull together the elements. Like we found the online platform. Rachel went in and kind of figured out how to use it. Then Rachel's boss, Abby went in and started helping us with the graphics.
Right.
And so like as we started to do this, we discovered that we had an opportunity to have an exhibit hall on this online platform. So then I reached out to all of the salespeople and was like, "Hey, so yeah, you're gonna have an exhibit hall on here. We're gonna basically put it for everybody in your region." And they thought it was a dumb idea at first. Everybody was irritated at the fact that we were asking them to all get involved.
Yeah.
QuaverCon happened. It was a great thing. It was amazing. We had um I want to say it was 2,700 people that came to the first QuaverCon online,
Nice.
and they made $2 million in 2 days.
Wow. See, when you learn something new, when you're doing it, you can do it anything.
So, but it was through the art and pulling the whole story for the company. The entire company shined as a result of QuaverCon, and my coworker Jonna Jackson, who's still there at Quaver, she just got through. I think she just got through hosting QuaverCon just a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I think it's the third one that they've done since I've been gone.
Nice. See, okay, and because it is homecoming, like I can't not ask about Urban Hymn. So
Yes,
so
absolutely,
tell me about that. And what was it like to be a part of a Grammy winning project?
absolutely,
You know, from a
absolutely.
TSU. Let's talk about it. Tell me
Okay.
more.
Urban Hymnal is one of my proudest things in the world that I've been a part of.
Okay.
Before I can even go into that, so the W Crim Singers is a ensemble that I sing with. The W Crim Singers is founded by my best friend Patrick Daly, and it was co-inspired by my other best friend LB Williams, but Patrick took the helm and really flushed it and made it what it is, at the behest of our mentor, Professor William Crim. So this ensemble is an ensemble with people. Most of us are HBCU alumnus. Many are from Tennessee State, but we're from all over the gamut. We have Howard, we have uh, Oakwood, we have Fisk, we have Morehouse. So we have people from across the whole family of HBCUs that sing in this ensemble.
Right.
So we were all rehearsing one day at the Performing Arts Center, as we always do, and
Because art people stay together.
so that's where we're like an artist in residence at Tennessee State, and we were getting ready for something I don't recall. But Sir the Baptist was working on the record. Now just personal note, because I'm an alumnus of Tennessee State, I had other friends that were getting called to do the sessions for the record, and I was not one of them. And I felt some kind of way, and I told God I wanted to work on that record, and so they were almost done at this point. Sir heard us singing. He asked could he come sit in while we rehearsed, and we just kept rehearsing because most people didn't know who he was. And so he left out, and we didn't see him no more. Another guy who just moved here to Nashville, Derek Bridges, who is also a fraternity brother of ours, um, just joined the group like that week actually. And Derek, we were walking through the halls, and I said something about Sir coming out, and he said, "Sir here, take me to him." Turns out Derek and Sir did a lot of projects together back in Mississippi. And so when Sir saw Derek, he lost it and was like, And so he asked him what he was doing there. He told him he was there for rehearsal. He was like, "Who is that group? I need them on the record." And so that was on a Tuesday night.
Yep.
I think it was. Um, Sir asked us if we could jump on the record on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, shut up.
And so Patrick talked to him, got in the group meet, asked whoever could do it to do it. And so we did. Ended up doing Me Too, which is a song featuring Fred Hammond and John P. Key. That's the W. Crim Singers feature vocals with Tamika Harris and Patrick Daly from Crim Singers. Um, because I do admin stuff, I asked him who was admin in the record, and he said he was doing everything himself. So I told Sir, I was like, "Hey, yeah, I mean, if you need some help, I'm willing to help you." So I came back on Friday to help him see what he needed. Ended up cutting Fly. He ended up asking me, could I get two more singers from the W Trim Singers? I called my girl Shanae Edwards and my girl Leah Jones. Shanae is also a Tennessee State alum. They both agreed that they could do it. We met. We did the backgrounds for Fly. Pastor Sam Franklin was the vocal producer for most of the records. So she's all up and through that record with many other people like Nate Bean, who is a Nashville legend, and many, many singers from town. So that record is absolutely a community labor of love. Saying all of that to say, the record went on to get considered, put up for consideration.
Yeah.
Made it past that to the round of nomination,
Absolutely.
and we were blessed to win the Gospel Roots.
Speak on it.
And additionally, the record and the song "Fly" were both nominated for NAACP award. Now, also at the same time, many of us were blessed to also work on the Elvis Project. The Elvis Project was also nominated for a Grammy that same year and was also nominated for an Oscar. And then last but not least, Tennessee State University's marching band appeared on Jay Ivy's record, Poet That Sat by the Door, which was the first winner of the poetry album, best poetry album of the year. And I sang additional backgrounds on that because while Sir was still working on the record, I went with him to the studio to meet Jay Ivy. That since I was there, they said, "Hey, can you cut some additional vocals?" So ended up being on 3 records that was nominated that year. 2 of them won. But again, all because of the community.
Yeah. See? The power of community, people.
Yeah.
All right. So the Nashville film scene is like it's growing.
Mhm.
That's a good thing, you know. So like for like aspiring filmmakers during homecoming, like what is a key lesson that you learned? Let's jump back to your theater background
Okay.
a little bit. Like Rose and Dreamgirls,
Mhm.
and then Ragtime. Uh like those are music heavy things and
Yeah.
they're also production. So how does that shape, your career as well? What's your theater background?
So for a long time, I thought I was a singer that just could act. It took me a long time to accept the fact that I actually can act.
Okay.
um,
So what you think singing is?
uh, yes,
Yeah.
but I didn't see it that way for a
Okay.
long time.
Right.
So it took years for me to finally get a certain kind of confidence to be like, "Hey, you actually can act."
Okay.
But in doing so, what I also came to understand is that again, it doesn't matter um which demonstration of art you're going to use. It's still all about the story.
Hmm.
So, um, Dreamgirls, my sister Christina Ray, she was my Effie. I was CC White. CC White.
Yeah.
Christina has gone on.
CC.
Yeah, Christina has gone on. She did America's Got Talent, where she got the Golden Buzzer from Heidi Klum. She's gone on. She did the Wiz, where she was the understudy for both Eboline and for Glinda, actually going on and performing both roles. So she did play them in the traveling Broadway play with Avery Wilson and all the one that's the soundtrack.
Yeah.
She was on that cast.
Yeah.
Christina is in New York right now doing some amazing things.
Nice.
The thing was Christina, because she had done Dreamgirls a few times and she is an actress, she's an actor's actor.
Yeah.
She pushed me out my comfort zone because we are already like brother and sister, but she literally made me mad while we was doing the show so that I can get the right energy.
Yeah.
So that when Cece had to deal with Effie, he was real.
Yeah.
And at first I felt like, I'm like, what is she doing? Why is she doing this? And then it clicked to me. I'm like, oh, she's making me tell the story. And when I finally grasped it, it was like, the the point isn't to upset me or anger me. The point is to make me actually get into the character so the story is told. And so what I would say to answer your question to any aspiring filmmaker, artist, writer, actor, get your story right. Understand what the story is you're trying to convey to people. Understand the feeling that you want them to receive so that you can set it up because we don't get to control anybody's how they receive, but we do get to control what we offer. And if I set it up the right way, it should provoke what I'm seeking to provoke. So it's all about the story. Get the story right. You get your story together, it's like the head. If the head is right, the tail gonna follow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful. Get them feelings right.
Yeah.
What did Dorothy say? She don't know the first thing about them feelings, and then by the end, suddenly the raindrops that fall have a meaning.
That's what she
You know,
said in the word.
yeah, But that's a great story progression. We go from I don't
Yes.
know to man, everything,
Yeah.
everything has it, and that's a good story.
And I would say that one of the problems that I have with a lot of new music,
Hmm.
and I would dare even say some of this stuff like Tubi, for example.
Oh Lord,
Tubi has a lot of potential.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff on there that's potential.
absolutely,
The story is either underdeveloped,
yes,
the production, they have a good story and the production is underdeveloped. You're missing the fact that the visual elements are an additional part of storytelling.
Mhm.
So if I got good writing, but my visuals are not telling the story, it's a mix. Um, or you have good visuals, good writing, but the acting is not conveying the story. we're still missing the storytelling. And so again, you go on Tubi, you can find a wealth of potential. But the problem is the story got dropped because of either the execution, the production, or the writing wasn't really intact in the first place. That's the only reason that most of that stuff is sketchy. And so if we want to tell the good story, we got to make sure that our elements are in place and that we're committed to the story's um, translation.
And how does storytelling when it comes to the Black experience? What are some storytelling that you think is beacons of like this is great example of Black storytelling?
Well, for starters, when we tell our own narrative, like the reason why I don't think anybody argues that The Color Purple is one of our Black classics, it's because it was a narrative told from a Black person's perspective about Black people, and it was told in a time, but it wasn't about slavery. So it's a story that told a real person's experience. And everyone who was involved, there was development through that story. So again, in Black narratives, first of all, let us tell it. Let us use our tone of voice so that we resonate with it. But then we got to make sure that there's progression of some sort. Because if the character starts where they finish, then you ain't enough progression. Then that means you didn't really tell me a story. Right.
Character arcs, people. I do want to do. I want to go on a little somber note, just because
Okay.
I can't not talk to a music person about this. So, this whole week has been kind of like somber for the music industry because D'Angelo kind of passed away this week on the 14th.
Yeah.
Pancreatic cancer, 51. Uh, so let's talk about D'Angelo. Like
Okay.
he was
I'm not mad at it.
a person of Black excellence that just oozed music greatness. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about D'Angelo.
It was disheartening. First of all, I felt disrespected.
Disrespect. Tell me
Yeah.
more.
I mean, not that he knew me, and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that it was, his transition of reward is not about me.
Yeah.
However, to be living your life and then you get that kind of news, that's you'd be like, really, life, really, this what we doing today?
Absolutely.
And then also for me, it was an added sting because we lost Angie this year.
Absolutely.
Like we have not
Angie Stone
we
and
have not
D'Angelo.
had the luxury of recovering from losing Angie Stone before we lose D'Angelo. And for those who don't know, Angie Stone and D'Angelo were once an item and they had a child together. And so I don't know this child, so I won't act like I have any personal vested interest. But I will say, it does dishearten me being someone who's lost a parent, understanding that the young man had to bury both his parents the same year.
Yeah.
And not only did he have to bury both his parents the same year, his parents are musical royalty, and that's a loss that he had to share with the world. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's not fair. But that's his journey. That's his story. God knows better than me. And it having lost two of the architects of neo soul, um, D'Angelo being one of the soul Aquarians, I can only imagine what their community's feeling. Um, yeah, yeah, like D'Angelo, I think D'Angelo's worth wasn't truly realized until people realized we didn't have him no more.
Okay. So
And
you think people are just gonna are starting to, or are just not gonna start realizing? I don't know. I feel like I'm young. I'm only 32 years old, but I can say that my entire existence as a musical person, D'Angelo has been like right there at the forefront
I'm not
of music.
I'm not minimizing that. What I
Yeah.
am saying is this: D'Angelo's one of those artists. He's one of those artists that um the world enjoyed him,
Yeah.
but I don't think the world really celebrated it.
Okay.
I dare even
What black man in his full vulnerability and capabilities does the world really celebrate?
Stevie Wonder.
Yes. Okay.
And the
Yes, but
thing
Steve
is,
Wonder had a tragic life
I
that
mean,
you know.
we can argue people's tragedy all
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
The
Yes.
fact is, though, an artist like a D'Angelo, I think people are going to realize how impactful his music has been now that he's gone, versus them really having them cognizant of it. Like even with like a Lauryn Hill, we talk about Lauryn Hill's tardiness, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a big thing everybody's talking about.
Right.
But people
She was
feel,
late, hour late. I know I went to a concert. She was an hour late.
but what people
She
feel,
sang good though.
what people fail to acknowledge though is how impactful that one record. Like Lauryn Hill only has 3 albums,
Absolutely. And
and
two of them are not even her solo albums. They're with
that's
the Fugees, bro.
oh no 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 no. So she got the unplugged.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
she
Yeah,
do got 3 of her own.
yeah,
However, she only did one actual album,
yeah.
and that one album has had such a rippling effect on the music industry. And but yet we don't really honor what that work has done.
Yeah.
We acknowledge that it's one of the greatest works,
Yeah.
but we don't really honor the effects of the work. And what I'm getting to with D'Angelo is D'Angelo's music has had a rippling effect on other artists, and even like you don't get a PJ Morton without D'Angelo.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You don't get Corey Henry without D'Angelo.
Okay. And that's just in terms of the dedication to being able to play a musical instrument
Well,
and deliver it vocally at the same time.
not just that, style.
Okay.
Like D'Angelo musically was an evolution of Stevie Wonder and Donny Hathaway. And so he to me is the bridge to a PJ Morton and to a Corey Henry.
Okay.
So so like everybody, we always look back to Stevie and we always look back to Donny and give them their flowers.
Or Daryl Cooley.
Daryl Coley,
Yeah, because that dude can sing.
well, in the gospel
Just
side,
period.
but I'm just talking about stylistically.
Okay.
Stylistically,
Yeah.
like Stevie had given us certain feeling and vibes, but D'Angelo evolved them. And then when you get to what we're currently getting, when we're looking at a PJ Morton and a Corey Henry, we're getting that feeling that was given from D'Angelo.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? But
You wouldn't compare D'Angelo to Prince?
no, I wouldn't compare him to Prince. I think he was a different creature. He was more of a soul artist. Prince wasn't a soul artist, he was a rock guy.
A rock and roll artist.
Yeah, he was a rock guy. D'Angelo's a soul guy. If I were going to compare D'Angelo to anybody old school outside of Stevie, I would probably say what's my man name? What's my man name?
I was gonna say Sunrise.
No, oh my God, why can't I think of my man name? Teddy Pendergrass.
Okay.
Like if I'm going old school and I'm gonna say who I think he gleans a
Okay.
little bit,
Teddy
Pendergrass.
P. Okay.
Yeah, like that it's that kind of vibe.
Okay.
And then on the gospel side, the Winans. Like D'Angelo definitely borrowed from the feeling that the Winans gave.
Okay.
So, but to me, D'Angelo is the bridge from those eras to this current administration of what we feel is soul music.
Okay. See, I definitely when I think of D'Angelo, I think of Sunrise. That's what I think of. Just in terms of the vibe or Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh, I mean, but he pulled on all of
Yes.
that soul,
And in terms of style as well.
which I mean, go back to why they
Just the
call themselves the
concept.
Soul Quarians.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
but like I think we didn't. I don't think we really acknowledged how much of a bridge he was while he was here. Same thing with Angie Song. Like like I can't sleep, I can't eat anymore. Like not only is iconic, but when you really look at the vibe, look how many people borrowed that feeling from that. She had the first ever true black man anthem.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
Soul Brothers.
while everybody else was singing about how doggish and terrible black man was being them, Andy said, hold on, let me set the record straight. We love them. Let's not, but it's like it was undersung while she was here.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I'll
so
even say that for Roberta Flack.
oh oh
Strumming My Pain.
oh
I
man.
mean, since we talk about Lauryn Hill,
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's a black man anthem right there too.
Yes.
Strumming My Pain, Killing Me Softly.
Yeah. So so I mean, there's a lot of great ones, but it's just for me, I'm sorrowful for the fact that not only did we lose such greatness, I'm sorrowful for the fact that as humans, I don't know at what point we stop waiting to realize what we have in front of us until it's gone.
Well, I'm gonna give you some flowers while you're here, my brother. You're awesome.
Appreciate you.
You know, and like just to like as a rapper, like amidst like all the tears you can coming, Like, what vibes do you take away from this experience? Like, you said you wasn't that excited about homecoming, but like, what excites you for upcoming years?
Well, um, even though I've been at TSU as long as I have,
Mhm.
there's some people that have life careers at TSU. I need, for me, I need to go see some more world before I come back again. So, for me, I can't wait till our homecoming is a homecoming for me. It ain't been a
Oh, so
homecoming
you
for
just
me.
need to come home. You need to feel like
Yeah,
you
like
left
I
and
ain't
came
left.
back.
So since I ain't really left, I need to come home
Got you.
for
Where
for
you want to go?
I don't know. I don't know. Right now I'm working on my doctorate. And so when I finish my doctoral degree, God only knows what opportunities will be presented. And I'm excited to see what else there is for me. That's where I'm at right now.
Hmm.
So not necessarily not in a rush to leave Nashville, but am I closed minded? I'm not. I'm open to what God has to offer me.
You don't got any dreams or wishful thinking?
The crazy thing is, and say this all the time. The crazy thing is, a lot of my dreams that I've had, I've touched them. So now I'm at a phase of life where I'm learning to dream new dreams.
Yes. All day with dream dreams, and see
Yeah,
visions, all
so
that jazz. So,
uh,
what are them new dreams?
working on trying to figure that out. Right now, being an inspiration to the people around me, and especially my students, is priority. Secondly, finishing this doctoral degree, that's definitely a priority. Outside of that, working on what my thesis, not my thesis, but my dissertation is going to be, which is going to focus on focusing on the effects of the Nashville sound on commercial music while putting a focus on African American producers and session singers. So capturing that story for me is like the primary thing for me right now.
If you could capture or use a sentence to describe the Nashville sound, what would it be?
The Nashville sound is broad but clean. Um,
And is the black Nashville style different than Nashville sound?
See, the thing is this: the Nashville sound is really more about precision. The Black Nashville sound.
Do you have any last words? Any final thoughts?
First of all, I want to say thank you to you. I
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time out to hear my story and give my testament towards my institution and my time. I think that that's admirable, but not only is it admirable, um, if people don't take these moments,
Mhm.
then we lose this. And so I'm grateful that you helped capture my life and the effect of my world on my life. Thank you.
I'm glad that you were willing to have a conversation with me, man.
Absolutely, man.
You know, all right.
And for the people, let me say, um, TSU is an amazing institution. It has made many contributions to our lives, not just African Americans' lives, like to the world. Um, and the fact that Jesse Russell created the chip that makes the cell phone works.
Mhm.
Um, Wilma Rudolph, one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Mhm.
Oprah Winfrey, the greatest media mogul we've ever seen in our day. And these people were made there. That's not including the fact that Key Wayne, a producer, went to school with me while I was at TSU. He produced Partition and Meek Mill's Amen while in the dorm. Like those songs were made at TSU. Shannon Sanders, producer, worked with NDRE, wrote Brown Skin about a girl in the AOB at TSU. Like we have so many legacy moments just from that side. That's not including the advancements that have been made in stem cell research and for cancer and all that through our agricultural department. Um, the McKissick family, which is a huge company in the world of architecture and engineering. They graduated from Tennessee State University. So it's like there's so much legacy that this institution has given to the world that the world has just not acknowledged. And I'm honored to be a part of that legacy. I'm even more honored at the fact that people don't know TSU was originally a plantation, and that land that we sit on was a plantation. So I think it amazing that the ground where we were beaten and mishandled is now the ground where we make these legendary figures that go and change the world. And yeah, it's like if that's not if that's not a story of accomplishment and advancement, I don't know what is. And that's the institution that we have right here in the city, right here. And so I want y'all to know Tennessee State University is a jewel to life, as well as the other HBCUs. But we talking about mine right now, the real TSU, the one with the Grammy. Uh, and so to be able to be a part of that history and to be a part of that legacy is an honor that second to none. Because and all that greatness that it did, we add this one more thing to it, and I'm a part of that. I was there as it happened. I watched it happen. My hands were on it. And just know that after I'm long gone, yeah, my contribution is etched in time.
Nice. Etched in time. I think we can leave it on that.
Yeah.
The contribution etched in time. All right, so this is Eskia Edward Drew, and this is Cameron Keith Walls, and we just want to thank y'all for watching. Thank you.
This is Thank you.
All right, so
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Sir.